everybody, today we will deep dive into more theories about the man in yellow and who he could possibly be. In my previous video, I talked about how he had similarities to an entity from a book called The King in Yellow that was written in 1895, but today let's talk about other things that he could be. Now for my first theory, I want to talk about how the man in yellow could be a golem, but before we get into that, let me explain what a golem is. So they come from Jewish folklore, but they are a creature made of clay or the earth, and they are magically brought to life, but they are used to protect things and people. Most of the golems that we see today in movies and games are what they are based off of. But originally, creating a golem was a way for medieval Jewish mystics to come closer to God. And also the golem assumes the role of an assistant on a specific mission. Now the reason I think that the man in yellow could be one is because when we take a look at his clothes, it looks like he has dirt all over them, and is even covering his face as well, like he came right out of the ground. It could explain how he was able to appear where Jim was, because it doesn't make sense that he would target him, because he was not the one to play the instrument in the first place. I think he was just collateral damage because Jim was there when he rose from the ground. But my other reason is when the show reveals him, he says that knowledge comes with a price. And the thing that the man in yellow is protecting could be the knowledge of how to leave the town. Unlike my last theory about him, this one would mean that he is not the entity that the children were sacrificed to, but someone or something else. Maybe Jade and Tabitha and even Boyd could be next on his list of knowledge because of what they all know. Now, since many of us think that he is not the main entity, he could have been the first monster to be created by the entity to hunt in the town, but over time maybe he earned the entity's trust and it was granted more powers like being able to walk in the sun or even to know what's going on around all times in the town. But with these powers in general, it changes everything for the townspeople. They would have to dramatically adjust by not even going outside now. I think that the man in yellow even has more tricks up his sleeve. I think that he will be able to ignore the talismans, and maybe that's why they introduced those poles in season 3 with the heads on the stick. I think that those might be what could ward off the man in yellow. And as we know, Martin did tell Boyd that there are even worse monsters, so hopefully they will have these to ward them off. And Ethan could be the man in yellow as well, because throughout the whole entire series of From, we do see Ethan wearing yellow many times. It's like the writers might have been hinting at something all along, or maybe it's just a coincidence. Ethan also uses that storybook of his like it's a survival guide, so he could be, or maybe Ethan could be, the future version of the man in yellow. He could also be a story walker just like Julie, or it could be another type of connection. Like maybe when we see Ethan wearing yellow, maybe that's when the man in yellow is in control of him, or at least looking through his eyes to see what's going on in the town. And that could be another reason of how he knew Jade was playing that song. But it might be a chance that the boy in white and the man in yellow have some sort of connection as well. As for right now in the show, we see the boy in white as a force of good and the man in yellow the direct opposite. But I'm thinking that they are the same person. The man in yellow could have been the boy in white this whole entire time pretending to help the townspeople, but really he could just be setting them up with whatever agenda that he has. When Jade plays the song, when we actually see the man in yellow, he had to intervene himself to stop them from getting too far, as we see in episode 9 of season 3, that the boy in white seems different, like his personality has shifted, and he also looks a little different as well. He told Victor that things are changing and that he couldn't help Victor, maybe because the man in yellow has control of him now, and if he did, that would mean that he could find out anything that the boy in white could be doing, so that's probably why he told Victor no. Also, there's a chance that after playing the song and understanding what Anqui means, Tabitha and Jade now probably know who the man in yellow is, or maybe what he is. We see back at Victor's family home a bunch of pennies that Miranda had made, and one of them is the man in yellow. Probably won't be revealed immediately, because it seems like the man in yellow is trying to break Tabitha down so he can stop her from revealing the truth of the town. And I think that's the reason why he took out Jim, is to break Tabitha down. And lastly, the From community has been talking about it could also be Randall. With everything that has happened to him, I didn't want to leave this one out, but he has a scar in the same place that we see in this picture that Moreno drew of the man in yellow. When he was taken by the monsters, why did they not kill him? I mean, we definitely know that the monsters are trying to break Boyd, but I think something more happened when they took Randall. And not to mention, he is still being haunted by the cicada buzzing. But that's all that I have for today. In my next theory video, I have a video about the talismans in the cave painting, so stay tuned for that. And as always, thanks for watching and have a good one.